Hi guys, welcome on the channel. My name is Roman and today I would like to talk about photovoltaic panels, the strings that we can make from them and the connections we can make with them. Because there is a lot of things you need to think about before you actually do and build your own photovoltaic system, and everybody really needs it a little bit different, trust me. So we will look on the few cases and it will be connection of 12 panels. We will make few groups of the serial parallel connections and we will see what's happening, for example, when the shadows come, how much power you will get and such things. Here on the background you can see it is my new fence I am building here just right now, because I would like to have more energy in the winter, and everybody knows more or less in the northern countries like the winter time is sun is low and more or less it's coming only from the east, maybe to the south, depends how you have the hills and everything. But as I said, for me it is very good because we are in the snowing area when you have maybe 2 months in the winter snow, and when you have actually big plate to 30 degrees maybe direction south and it's covered with the snow, then it will freeze and then it will go ice. You will have like 5-10 centimeters shield that will never let any photon getting and hitting the panel, so you will have zero from such a string. But when you have strings on this position, you will always get something, because the snow it will touch and fall and it will not hold. You can see even here below the space we are not expecting so much snow, and when here is very windy, so the snow it can fly away below the panel and it will be not covered with the snow. Definitely if comes 1 meter snow, then you will hit let me say maybe the half. But those new panels, they are actually double panels. If you look at it, here is a split and you have this panel, and it's actually two small panels, but they are connected in parallel. So it means like you have two small panels, maybe like 200 watt and 200 watt connected together. So when this one is in the shadow, you still have those 200 watt. So when you have 1 meter snow, you still have half of the power, which is very amazing on the new panels. If you buy some old one, they don't have this one, but new panels that you buy now, it is very simple and you can use them even in such hard conditions when you need something. But now we are going to see the table that I have prepared. It is very small table. I have here one instruction picture. We have here 12 panels. That's very simple. We can talk like it is 400 watt, for example, for the easy math, 40 volts, 10 amps. For example, I have put it here like you have 400. When you have 12 panels, maximum power is 1200. And we will count here when one panel is lost. So if we look on the picture, you can easily see here is the connection, for example, 4 panels in serial and another one and another one. That would be actually this case. We have 3 strings, 1, 2, 3 and 4 panels, 1, 2, 3, 4. It means the system will be on 160 volt. First thing, you really need to think about also about your inverter, because if your inverter doesn't support 160 volt, mostly it is below 120, 140, 150, then you cannot use 4 panels in one string because you will burn it. So that's one thing that you need to reconsider, what kind of inverter you will be using. If you use some kind of big one, okay, they can go 500, 800, 1100, 1500 even, but it is very big. For this showcase, it is, I think, very enough. I have made here examples like you make 6 times 2 panels. It means 6 strings with 2 panels. You will get 80 volts. If you are using systems like Victron 48 volt system, it is very nice. It will be charging, and if you have maybe 75 volts whatsoever, 65 on the panels, still good, still very good. You can go and charge the 50 volt, 52, 55, and it's no problem. But if you have the shadow and you will lose one panel on this string, then you are done. It will be not charging. So that's why you lose, actually, if you have 6 strings, you will lose completely one string. It means 800 watts. And the rest you will have 4000. For example, if you have a bigger system and you can use maybe those up to 150 volts inverters, maybe I have some kind of microstar that is actually exactly this type, I think up to 140 volts, then you can use maybe 4 panels, 4 strings with 3 panels. It means you will have 120 volt. If the shadows come on one panel, we completely close it whatsoever for the test example, you will get to 80 volts on this string. And this difference, it is very high. And it depends really on your MPPT of your charger, how good it is, how good it can calculate. If he can go maybe to 80 volt and take down the big strings from 120 to 80, then you will have anyway 3200. It will be very similar case like the other option, but here it will probably end up on 9 panels. It means it will skip one string completely due to its voltage, because there will be not enough voltage to go up to 120, and the MPPT will see, okay, those 3 strings, they have 120 volts and it's much higher. Yeah, they actually count voltage multiply amps and they get this number. So at the end you will end up with 3600. If you make a little bit bigger strings, you see 3 strings, 4 panels, 160 volt, it will be more or less the same case. It can happen like it will count only 2 strings with 4 panels. It means 3200 watts. Or it can count 3 times 9 panels. If he can go so deep, I'm not sure every MPPT is going with such a high range to jump like 25-33% down. So it's possible he will jump to the 3200. So maybe with this scenario it is the worst case whatsoever. If you make 2 strings, more or less a little bit high voltage, then I would say it is nice. If you have 1 string in the shadow, 1 panel, then probably the inverter, the MPPT tracker, it will change the voltage to 200, because it's not so big difference. It is still difference, but not so big. So at the end you will finish with 200 volts, which is 5 panels on both. He will take down the power of the panel of strings of 6, and he will step on the 200 volt and you will reach 4000. I think it is also very nice option. You see, it is the same result like when you have 6 times 2, but you have high voltage system. At the end you still can have even bigger inverter, maybe up to 500 volts, and if this 480 is actually with the multiplier, safe multiplier 1.2, then you can use it and you will have one string, 12 panels, very nice. But if the shadows come only on one string, or it will get broken, whatever, it can happen too, and still will be working those bypass deals. This string will provide you, let me say, 4400 watt. This is the option when you are using no optimizers and such things, only the panels. So I think this is something you really need to reconsider before you are going to build your own. For example, I have small inverters, small chargers, and I have even big inverter like 40 kW, and you see I am building this fence. You see I decided to go blocks of 3. You see here is different angle than this one. So definitely if I want to go parallel, it's no issue. This will be giving a little bit less, depends on the angle of the sun and so on and so on. So when I stick with the 3, it's very fine. But for example here, 1, 2, 3, 4 places, they are in one line. They share the same angle, and more or less there is no shadow from anything. So this string is very amazing. It can be connected like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 12 panels. I can make exactly this 12 panel string. But I am also thinking, because this one there will be another 9. So I could make panel string of 1000 volt, maybe 21 panels. So this will provide me a lot of energy, and it will be a high voltage string. And advantage of the high voltage string is you don't need so many cables. If you using small strings, you need a cable for each one of them, and that's a lot of cables. If you imagine 21 panels, it is 7 strings of 3 panels. It means it is a lot of panels and a lot of cables and a lot of everything, you know, the Sicherung and safety issues and blah blah blah. So there is a lot of things you need to reconsider, and definitely the gauge of the cables you need higher at the end, every system and so on. But it's possible to use it, so it really depends on you. Advantage of the low voltage panels is definitely the low voltage. If you have just 2 panels, you can, I think, touch the wires and you will survive, definitely, for a short time before it will burn. With the 50 volts, it's, let me say, the safe voltage, you should survive 100%. But if you have 100, 120 or 80, those 2 panels, 3 panel strings, it is very, let me say, safe, and there is not so much danger, especially when you are using it in the home environment or whatsoever, or maybe like on this fence. So you really need to think about it. So the small strings, they have advantage like low voltage, definitely. You can also have more small different angles of each panel, because when you are making, for example, the fence, it will change always, and it's good because the curve of your total power, it will be very flat when you set all different angles and so on and so on. So that's for sure advantage. Definitely advantage is also the shadows. When you have a lot of small, you will not lose. When you lose one string from 6 or 7 or 10, okay, what's happening? Nothing. You lose a little bit, few percent. But when you have very bad strings or somewhere, and you will catch some very bad shadow, maybe even for 2 or 3 strings, it will be much worse. It's really on each configuration, and you really need to know where you are putting your panels. If there are trees or electricity, streets, buildings, fences, other fences. So there is so many things that can make a shadow. So you really need to take care about it. Definitely I recommend strings for fence like this. 3 panels, it is very nice. If you have very long line and you are very safe and you have another fence and you can cover the high voltage and nobody will touch it and so on and so on, for the safety issues, make 20. Make full board what inverter can handle, and make just one cable and you will be happy. You will not have to buy 50 times more safety things and so on and so on. So that's this case. You see I have make it a little bit more here and still missing 9 more. So this is the plan that I want to make. I will make strings of 3. Sometimes I make strings of 9 maybe. I will see. And that's my plan. And you should plan according to your inverter. First, you need to know how much power you need. Because if you want to use 50 kV, you cannot make, you can, but it will be crazy if you use panels of 3. Because you will have to make like, I don't know, 50 strings. That will be crazy. You definitely don't want to do that. And in such a system, I recommend higher voltage for sure. If you are using, let me say, system up to 5 kV, 10 kV, maybe even 20 kV, then you can have maybe some strings with, let me say, low voltage, some string with high voltage. Depends on the hardware. If you have maybe one charger that will take care about it and just for the batteries, and then you have the inverter that he's making the 380 volts, 220 whatsoever AC part, they usually have better MPPT and they can maybe handle the biggest strings like up to 11, 12 panels. And in that case, definitely it's better to use big, because the MPPT, they are better working with the higher voltage, and also they don't start maybe on 100 volt. The MPPT opens on the 200 volt and range will be maybe to 400 volt. So it is very different on each inverter, and definitely when you have too many power amps from your strings, you can easily burn it, because inverters have limits. Even when you have one MPPT and you have 2 inputs, generally you will be limited maybe to 20 amps and maybe like 10 amps on each. When you have small inverter, if you have bigger one, maybe you will be limited to 30 amps on the MPPT and let me say 15, 17 amps on each input. So it will be something like this. Definitely check the data sheet of your inverter and you need to make according to it. It is very good to think about it before even you buy the inverter. And then also think about the panels that you will buy, because there are many panels on the markets. For example, those panels, it's bifacial and they have, let me say, 40 volts. Actually it's very close to this. Maybe when you have under load, they have like 30, 35 maybe, and they are giving 14 amps. So at the end I can reach like 460 watt, for example, from this panel. But also what is very important is the size. So you need to, if you are building something, definitely you need to think, because I am building these fans exactly for those panels. There will be not fitting many other panels in the system, so it is very important to do it like this. So I hope this one really helped you, and you can take maybe some kind of experience also from my life, because I am building a lot of projects on my own for myself. I am very hungry on the energy and I will be now very close to 80 kVp. So with the install capacity of the panels, let me say 180 panels, something like this maybe. So there will be a lot of them, and I think it's really cool, because when you have a lot of energy you can do actually whatever you want. It's still better than the heat pump or whatsoever, because it's only the consumption, but here you can use it for whatever, heating, production, making whatsoever, you can use it. It's energy. It's much easier to handle the energy, electricity, than the heat, for example. It is much better transfer. So that's, I think, everything I would like to say for this video. Definitely think about inverter, think about the safety, think about the wire cost. If you go low strings, you need to count extra budget for it, because you need the copper and the big gauge at the end. So it's very important. Definitely you need to think where this position of the panel is. Maybe you have the flat roof like this, and you have somewhere here in the middle chimney. That will be totally disaster, because the chimney, it will cover I don't know, half of the, maybe even more than half of the roof, and it will be all the time moving shadow. And in such a case, maybe there will be exactly solution to make the panels like, you know, like the sun is going, so you will make the strings like this, and it will all the time just go away one string, and you will be fine. Or there is solution I wanted to tell also, maybe the optimizers. It is solution, but it's also extra cost. And if you imagine how much cost the optimizer and how much he can save at the end, and you still need to think like, okay, this is still, let me say, consumer thing, you know. He take maybe 2-3 watts whatsoever. Yeah, I have 400 watts on the panel, I can handle two. It's 1%, okay. But it's only when you have full power. And when you are making 20 watts with the panel, or 10 watts, and the inverter is taking 4, then it is like 40%. So you really need to think about such a thing, because I had them, I bought them for my, let me say, north-south roof, and it was disaster. It was so big disaster. I was making even less than without them, so it was useless, really useless, and it didn't help even with the shadows. And I was very disappointed. So I sell them, and I sell them. I lost, I don't know, $10 on each, and I don't care. I accept the lose, and that's it. So it was $5 experience for me, and I'm done with optimizers. But it's not for everybody. Somebody likes it, you have it maybe somewhere small shadow, and maybe you can pick just few panels. It's possible with some optimizers, maybe do it, and you can maybe juice more energy from those panels. Of course, it's possible. Also very nice is if you like to play with the apps and watching the table in the software, and oh look, this panel is 422, and oh, this one is 411, and oh, this one is 460. Wow. So you can enjoy this one, because the management is definitely nice, and when the panel is broken, you know directly which one it is. So it's also advantage for this management, but you have to pay for it, and you will pay it for it all the time that you have them, because it's consumer. Some of them, they are Wi-Fi, and oh man, that's crazy. and you will be like Wi-Fi crazy station in your house. But it's also option. So this is everything I would like to say. Think about a lot before you want. If you have maybe some kind of question, ask me in the comments below. I will gladly answer them. And I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.